Hello students, we are again here to read the remaining part of the poem on receipt of my mother's picture. As I have told you earlier, this is an elegy written by William Cowper in the memory of his beloved mother, whom he lost at the age of 6, and he recollected all the memories of all the memories of her day of death, and how she inspired him, how she loved him, and how everyone promised him that one day his mother would return to him, but she never returned, and every time he felt deceived by every day, and finally he submitted to his destiny, and he accepted this truth that his mother would never return. But now, in the form of picture, she is here before him, so he again wished to be her to with him, and he wished that he could have his mother. Now, in the next part of the poem, he talked about the house in which he lived in countryside with his mother, and he is lamenting the loss of his parental home. Where once we dwelt, our name is heard no more. Children not thine have trod my nursery floor, and where the gardener Robin day by day drew me to school along the public way, delighted with my bauble coach, and wrapped in scarlet mantle warm and velvet capped. It is now become a history little known that once we called the pastoral house our own. So he is talking about his pastoral home where he lived with his mother. Where once we dwelt, our name is heard no more. Dwelt means lived. Children not thine have trod. Thine means yours. Trod means walked my nursery floor, and we. So he said that where once we lived, in that house our name is heard no more. So he just want to say that that house does not belong to us anymore. Children not thine have trod my nursery floor, and in my nursery your children are not walking there. It means kids of someone else's are walking there, because the house is no longer related to the poet and his mother. And where the gardener Robin day by day drew me to school along the public way, and he still have those memories when he remembered their gardener whose name was Robin, and whose name was Robin, and who used to drew him to his school along with the public way, delighted with my bauble coach and wrapped in scarlet mantle warm. I was always seated in my coach, and you wrapped me. Wrapped, lapetna, scarlet mantle warm. Mantle means cloth. We can say it a shawl, a warm shawl. So you wrapped me in a shawl, or the warm something warm like coat or something else, and velvet cap, and I wore a velvet cap. It is become a history little unknown that once we called the pastoral house our own, and all these things has become a history, and very few people know it, and that once we called the pastoral house our own, and we used to call that house our, but it is no more related to us. Short-lived possession, but the record where the memory keep of all thy kindness dear still outlives many a storm that has effaced a thousand other themes less deeply traced. Short lived possession. So the house is a very short lived possession. House is a short lived possession because it does not belong to them anymore. But the record fair, that memory keeps of all thy kindness there, still outlives many a storm that has effaced a thousand other themes less deeply traced. But he said that your memories in that house still have that magic that can erase all the problems, pains, and distresses of life. A thousand other themes less deeply traced, thy nightly visits to my chambers made that thou mightest know me safe and warmly laid. So now he recalled and recollected again the memories of his beloved mother, that how she used to visit his room at night in order to check that he is sleeping safely and warmly in his bed. Thy morning bounties are I left my home. Morning bounties, bounties we can call gifts. I E R E R means before. The biscuits or confectionery plums, we can say candies and jam. The fragrant waters on my cheek bestowed by thy own hand, thy yours, till fresh they shone and glowed. All this and more endearing still than all, thy constant flow of love that knew no fall. He says, thy morning bounties are I left my home. I remember, I still remember your kindness towards me, that how lovingly you gave me candies when I left, before I left for the before the poet left for the school. Her mother, his mother used to give him candies, biscuits, and other things in order to please him. The fragrant waters on my cheek bestowed by thy own hand, till fresh they shone and glowed. And she apply fragrant waters on his face, on his cheeks, in order to make his skin shiny and glowing. And she keeps on rubbing his she kept on rubbing his cheeks until they look shining and glowing. All this and more endearing still than all, thy constant flow of love no that knew no fall. So all these things are very loving. These are the loving acts of his mother towards him, and her flow of love was constant. She always loved him with the same flow that knew no fall, and her love never stops for her kid, that is the poet, never roughened by those cataracts and breaks that humor interposed too often makes. All this still legible in memory's page, and still to be so to my latest age. So he says that never roughened by those cataracts and breaks. Cataracts and breaks, obstacles. This here a metaphor is implied, just as the love of a mother is compared with a stream. Sometimes a stream may flow with a good speed, and sometimes the way of water is obstructed by some things, but the flow of her love never fell or roughened by the blind anger or any other change in his mood or the other constraint. Her flow of love, his mother's flow of love was regular as always. That humor interposed too often make all this still legible in memories page. Everything is still legible means clear. So all this is still legible in memories page. Everything is still clear in his memory and still to be so to my latest age. And even today, latest age, at the age of 58, even today, I those memories are still as fresh as the time of his childhood. Adds joys to duty, make me glad to pay such honor to thee as my numbers may. So all these memories adding joy to him, and he is very glad to perform his homely duties. Such honors to thee as my numbers may, perhaps a frail memorial but sincere. So he want to pay honor to his mother. Such honors to thee as my numbers may. Numbers here, it means poetry, perhaps a frail memorial but sincere. Frail, frail means weak. Memorial, a monument that is built in the memory of someone not scorned in heaven, though little noticed here. So the poet is saying that your memories adding joy to performing my homely duties, and he is very glad to pay honor to his mother by creating this poem in her memory. He says that perhaps maybe this poem is a frail monument. This poem would not shine as the monuments and tombs of stones shine, but sincere. But this is the sincere tribute to my mother, and it may not scorned in heaven, though little noticed here. He says that it may not be noticed by people here on the earth, but it will make her happy in the heaven. He just want to convey the idea that an art is the best way to pay honor to his mother. That's why he is creating, or he is writing this monument of poetry in order to make his mother alive forever. And he says that it may be possible that people will not understand the importance and significance of this poem on this earth, but in heaven his mother will be proud of him because of his poetry.